Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on Where Is This Going, a podcast about artists you probably don't know, but will soon, hopefully, grow to appreciate at the very least. If you're joining us live, glad you found it because I didn't advertise it well. Sorry about it. Also, if you have any questions about last week's podcast, that's because it was an episode that was recorded like 2 months ago and then released when we didn't have another episode to put out. So it's called creating a bank, ladies and gentlemen. But today, another featured artist, one you probably don't know about, but you should appreciate. We have, actually, you may have heard of this person before. It's a great honor in the studio. We have the legend, Mr. Elton John. Oh, never mind. They took off their glasses.
Let me be Elton John real quick.
And we have Sir Elton John. Elton, I have a couple questions for you. Just a few. Mainly one. How do you stay so fit and young looking in this new venture of life you've taken? 2 minutes, please.
I don't.
Nice. For those of us joining, Michi did not have a British accent to attempt Sir Elton John, but she had the glasses, so we thought it was good enough. Michi Farias, everybody. Michi Farias is an amazing artist, I would say, vocally, instrumentally, visually, not just the visual art representation that you see before you, but her murals, portraits. What kind of visionary, what kind of visual art, or I want to say what mediums do you work through in your, because right now, obviously the showcase is your visual art, as most performance art has gone away now.
It's not like I can play shows now.
Right.
But for murals, I'm going to be using outdoor paint, so like exterior paint, acrylic, but my specialty is with any kind of paint. So oil paintings, acrylic paintings. I also do a lot of drawings, usually hyper-realistic. I also specialize in pen and ink drawings and in charcoal.
I do have a beautiful picture in my phone. We'll post it later. Maybe I'll post it on Facebook or Instagram of I think an amazing chalk portrait of me that you did in a basement on 15th Street.
Oh my goodness, at band camp. Yeah, I drew you in the basement on the wall.
And hopefully it's still there. It was kind of covered, but yeah, it's still on my phone. I know that I still have the picture, and I appreciate that. That was one of the most prized art pieces I've ever seen. Thank you.
You know, drawing on walls is what I do.
Exactly, and that's been a new showcase that we've gotten to see. If you guys haven't had a chance, we'll post some of it now. Give you a look at what Michi is basically here to showcase, aside from her amazing.
I actually just finished it for the past 3 months. 17 portraits of the 1945 Grand Rapids Chicks.
Okay.
On the Auto Fix-It of Grand Rapids. It's next to the garage bar.
Was it basically on the side of the garage bar, it seems?
It's right next to it in the same alleyway. And then on the front of Auto Fix-It is the biggest 3 portraits that I did.
All right. Awesome. Well, can you throw that up one more time? I know I've seen it a bunch.
But yeah, I worked so long on this every day. It was a ton of work and research. I use the AAG PLB usually for my resource photos. I'm doing an interview with them tomorrow.
Do you know what that stands for, AAG PLB?
Basically, they are the biggest historical website for baseball. So they have all the photos and resources that I needed in order to paint the first female baseball team from Grand Rapids. So I used them every single day in order to get these done.
Amazing portraits, by the way, if you guys are seeing these. I think one that's been showcased, can you scroll up just a little bit, Colming? That one, that's the one I've seen the most. And I don't know
Doris.
if it's That I like. Yep, that one right there. No, that Doris. Now,
Doris
do you
is
know?
everyone's favorite.
Do you know any facts about Doris at all? Like a last name?
Tetzlaff, actually. I
Okay.
had to write all of their names.
Oh, yeah.
And label every single one so that people, when they're walking by, they know who these women were.
Right.
The two best players were Connie Wisanowski and Alma Ziegler.
Mm-hmm.
Connie and Alma, both respectively, were some of the strongest baseball players in the women's league of all time.
Right.
So it's a huge honor to be
From the
playing
Grand
for them.
Rapids Chicks.
Yeah.
Wait, is that what they were called? The Grand Rapids
Grand
Chicks?
Rapids Chicks.
I went to Zeeland East. Colmick and I both graduated, actually, from Zeeland East, and we were Zeeland Chicks. Now, I don't want to argue over who has a better baseball team, but I believe...
GR Chicks.
Okay,
Just
well...
saying.
I don't want to point fingers, but my sophomore year, I did ride the bench most of the time. Now, that was mostly suspension, disciplinary issues, had nothing to do with my skill, but I would believe I'd be a decent contender, at least, against...
The Grand Rapids Chicks in 1945, yeah.
If we're being honest, it was 1945. People were weaker, and...
They're old as fuck.
The obvious one...
They're all dead.
Aluminum bats, exactly. All they have is wood bats, and those are heavy. I don't want to say anything about their strength, because, like you
I
said,
think they'd beat you in a fist fight.
I'm sure most people can. If we're being honest, Michi, you could beat me in a fist fight.
You know, probably.
I can count on one hand the amount of fist fights that I have been in, and I would have actually an additional hand. I've never been in a fist fight. I've never thrown a punch. I've had
You're a kicker?
No, I've had a punch thrown at me. That's my purse. I don't know you. But no, I've had a punch thrown at me, and that was mostly because my voice was easily mistakable for a middle school girl's at the time. So she was talking crap. I got hit in the face. It's a long story. I got suspended, but I do really admire your work and your hair.
My blue hair.
Yes, blue hair.
New weave.
new weave. Who dis? And it really showcases your artful spirit, and I love that you wore it into studio today.
Thanks. I'm not bald today.
Not today. Well, I was gonna say, did you match? Oh, wait, go back. I like that too.
Yeah, blue lady painting blue ladies.
Exactly.
Those are my biggest ones. They actually gave me a lift for that, and
Scissor lift.
no, like
I don't know what it's called.
Freaking lift with no instructions.
Magini or a genie?
I had to figure out how to operate a lift.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Wait.
You know, do you like a lady who can use heavy machinery? Guess what?
I taught myself.
I'm self-taught on how to use a lift.
So were you commissioned for this mural?
Yeah, by Downtown Grand Rapids, aka DGRI.
Right.
They reached out to me through Hannah Berry, who's the owner of Lions and Rabbits, and organizing all of the Women's Way artists.
Is that what Lions and Rabbits does? I'm not familiar.
Hannah Berry organizes a ton of the murals going in Grand Rapids. We actually have 40 going up through After Dark, which is one in Creston.
Mm-hmm.
But DGRI is paying for all of it. So super awesome.
That is awesome.
Paying artists to do public art, which is accessible to everyone.
Right. Because you don't need to pay a commission to walk down the street. You don't need to pay an admission.
And it adds, color and vibrancy to people's lives every single day.
Right.
And while also being historical. So you bring these women who did these wonderful things in history to the public eye.
Right.
Every single day they're going to be walking by these and seeing this art in like their everyday lives, and I think it's super important to bring public art into people's lives because you don't have to pay for it.
Exactly, and it's getting art into those unrecognized areas or those unappreciated areas.
Alleyways,
exactly.
Which otherwise are forgotten. So Women's Way, basically, there's 5 artists now. They added another mural to it that they are reclaiming these alleyways, renaming them after women, because the person that inspired a lot of this said that they realized a lot of the alleyways and places in Grand Rapids aren't named after women.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt very, not sexist, but it's just wrong.
Right. And I think it not equal,
Yeah,
I think, to say the
equal.
least. But also, I think most people see alleyways as a danger to,
a scary
especially
place.
women. Like when, I don't know specifically from personal experience, but usually I think when women are taught about who to fear or something, it's usually a picture of who you see in a dark
guy in an
alleyway. Exactly. And I think it's almost reclaiming those spaces as well as it's not where it would be dark without light, but also dark without art. It's now not only art, but prominent women
in Grand Rapids history,
where women have traditionally not felt safe, which I think is a great juxtaposition to the alleyway in itself.
The idea of the alleyway itself. But yeah, a lot of these murals going up are just awesome. There's Ethel B. Coe behind 20 Monroe, who's an activist. There's also the first black female officer on GRPD, actually behind GRPD in their alleyway.
Okay.
By my friend Jasmine Bruce.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, I don't know why I haven't seen any of these pieces. They're in alleyways. And you know what? You're right. Because even I, though not a female who had received those speeches, also heard them and decided, you know what? We have a similar build. I'm just not going to stay near alleyways because, like we've previously stated, I'm not a fighter.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd fare well, especially if I wouldn't fare well against these women. I don't think I'd fare well in an alleyway where these women have been warned against going. And now I believe I'm sounding sexist, but we'll keep moving on. So our obviously DGRI commissioned the murals in Grand Rapids. Do you know, like Women's Way, does that expand past Grand Rapids, or is that mostly just a local effort?
Women's Way right now is just about GR and GR activists,
right?
People who inspired, future generations. In the future, I hope that we do expand, but it's been a very few select artists because the grant is higher than those for the 40 murals going up for After Dark.
Right.
So they are huge projects. Like my mural was 150 feet wide.
Yeah.
And about 40 feet high on the one wall and 15 on the other.
Okay, so did it do a wraparound?
Yes,
Yeah, because it went around to the
building completely.
Yeah.
So it's really cool because you can just drive by and see the huge one, and then you get the extra bonus.
Yeah, as you turn.
Seeing the other, 14 portraits.
Wow. That is amazing. And so check that out in person at I want to say the corner street, basically, but isn't it?
Auto Fix It.
Okay, yes, Auto Fix It, next to the garage bar across the street from Sandy Point Beach House. What street is that?
Well, it's now called the Grand Rapids Chicks Way. They renamed the road for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The whole road or the alleyway?
The whole alleyway.
Okay, yeah, the alleyway road.
They're also repaving it, which is huge.
Yeah, gravel, I believe.
Gravel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one was really driving down it.
Well, sometimes I had a lot of people driving by going, "Hello, did you paint this?" and waving.
As you're painting.
As I'm painting, I'm like, "No, I'm not the artist."
No, I'm just finishing up this.
I don't know who painted this.
I don't know who painted it, but I'm doing a better job. I'll tell you that.
Well, there was a mural under it.
Really?
A bunch of cars.
So did you?
Called The Race. I actually looked it up. I had to paint over it. It was unprofessionally done. I'm just gonna say that.
No shade.
No shade. I'm sorry. The original piece was called The Race underneath, but it was done in 2014 by another artist who is not a professional artist of a bunch of cars.
Okay.
It was just in.
It sounds vaguely familiar, like the vision of it. I feel like I've seen it.
On another garage. I lost my mind. It was near Bridge Street, and I was like, "That's the same guy. I had to paint over his mural." And while
you know what?
bad,
He just found
like,
another. He found another side of a street or side of a building.
Another garage. garage that he painted these weird cars
I think
on.
he just does it on
It's just
garages.
weird cars. Like, they made me uncomfortable.
How a car makes one uncomfortable is a question in itself.
Yeah, so I had to paint over all of that and then do my portraits on it.
Mhm. So did you paint like a blank canvas basically
I
over?
painted all white. That was
Yeah.
actually the thing that took me the longest, was
Really?
painting all of that wall white. It's a very old wall.
Mhm.
It's pretty decrepit, so it took me weeks.
Did you have to
paint it
power
white.
wash anything?
They
Or?
did. DJI power washed it for me. And
Okay.
they're also going to be putting graffiti guard on it, so that if someone sprays on it, you can literally wipe it off.
Okay.
And it's protected.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, that's science I've never really,
I really
heard of.
I love graffiti and I love, street art, but don't mess with people's
But not
murals.
on my art,
Literally,
dude.
it took me, it's like if you paint over the face of one of these ladies, it'll take you like 10 minutes to do that, something that I took like a week on.
Right.
Like, please
Just
don't.
it's
Please
yeah,
leave it.
it's respect.
I know
don't.
your boys. Come on.
I know your
on.
little boys. I can't call you men.
I know you. I'll find out. I know everyone who does the street art. Come on.
That's being connected right there.
Yeah.
Michi's
I
from the
fully
streets.
support it. For real. I mean, I put a rip seal. One of my friends passed away, and he was a street artist. He went
Right.
by seal. And I put, I dedicated it to him because that was the biggest thing in his life. But he actually prevented a bunch of people from, like, spraying on people's art.
Right.
So I think it's super cool that he did that for us.
An activist with an activist.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's
Rip seal.
Rip Seal. R.I.P.
Yeah.
The homie Seal.
Homie protected our art. So.
And you gotta love, and that's protecting integrity. That's using integrity to protect integrity. I like that.
There's so many other roles, guys. Please.
There's so many.
I
You've
slaved over this,
seen.
please.
You've seen, especially in Grand Rapids. There's so many buildings.
There's so many.
Just get on a ladder. You know what? With a little
Yeah.
intuitiveness, I think you can find a new wall. Okay, so we've showcased your visual art. Your visual art is not all that you're about. I understand. Would you say that's your main drive?
Yeah, I mean, visual art and music are very tied to one another. So I think that usually a lot of people take interest in both. And
Right.
that's why, I'm taking an interest in both.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I do both, because people are interested in it.
It makes sense. Like, it takes a long time to learn how to play the guitar.
Right.
You're going to suck for the first year or two. Same with drawing. You're going to suck for the first
Yeah.
year or two. It's just putting the time behind it.
All right, so then we'll break that down. When did you start? I guess everyone starts drawing at a very, very young age.
Yeah.
When did you start, I guess, artistically drawing? Like more than
Seriously?
Yeah,
Like seriously drawing?
like taking your own drawing seriously, I guess I should
This is
say.
going to sound funny, but the 4th grade?
Not okay.
When I was in the 4th grade,
Was it anime?
No, I got this book by Jack Ham called How to Draw Animals, and I became weirdly obsessed with learning how to draw these realistic animals from skeleton to a fully fleshed animal, and I would sketch these out obsessively until I drew every single animal in the book. And really, that propelled me throughout, my schooling to be a better artist. It was taking the time every day, drawing like a weirdo in the back of the class. And
I'm not listening to anything algebraic.
No,
This is my
they
equation
let
right
me.
here.
I was. They'd be like, "What's the answer?" while I'm drawing something, and I'd know. I was still paying attention.
Right.
But my parents were super supportive. They were both artists. They actually met in art school in Valencia, Venezuela, in the Caracas Institute of the Arts. So I
wow.
grew up in an environment that was super art-fueled.
Yeah, and
they were-
conducive to
Yeah,
artistic
they both
creativity as well.
paint, and so our house is filled with their paintings, and they've been selling their paintings since like 2005
Wow.
on Farias Fine Art. And at Palate Coffee and Art, my parents own an art gallery coffee shop in
Nice.
GR
Nice.
called Palate Coffee and Art.
I visited them
Yeah.
during the craziness in the pandemic and whatnot, and my I felt very bad because as I walked out, I was admiring the art. Much of your art is up on the walls for
Yeah.
display. Your mother's art. Anyone else?
Oh, my dad and
Your
a
dad's?
ton of local artists that we curate in and
Nice.
out depending on the season.
Nice.
We like giving them time so that they have more of a chance to sell their artwork.
Right, and that's not something you see a lot of other places.
Yeah, a lot of places change it monthly, which I don't think gives people enough time to actually buy the artwork.
Right.
Rather than having actual artist residencies through the gallery and having them have the art there for more than 1 month.
Right. Yeah, and it gives people not like time to see it, enough time to appreciate
to commit to the art.
Exactly.
It's not easy buying art. It's expensive.
Right.
But it takes a long time to make and learn how to do. So I understand.
It's an appreciated art. Yeah, it has to be in order to purchase. But I don't think it's like that same thing. Not enough people have exposure, like in the murals in public. Not enough people have an exposure to appreciate that art.
Yeah, and I think bringing more art to people every day makes them learn more about it, appreciate it more,
Right.
And realize how important art is for our community.
Exactly. And I think, and that's why another reason I do this podcast is to showcase people and their art, but also showcasing the artist in a format like this lets you know about why they do what they do.
Yeah, we're all crazy.
Exactly. And it gives it gives more meaning behind the art. It gives more connectivity, familiarity. When you see their art, you see, I know that person, I've heard of that person, and I'd like to support that person because I know what craziness they live in.
Exactly.
But the reason I felt bad when I visited Palate, one, I don't think your mom knows me. She has no reason to, but I just knew who she was. And so I had commented on the art, but it was just like, I really enjoy Michi's art. I'm a friend of Michi. And I didn't even say that. I said, I've seen Michi's art before and I really liked that, but I admire your art as well because I knew her name from knowing you.
Yeah,
and
Farias.
Exactly.
Designer name.
And she seemed less than impressed. But I thought, and I was like, all right, she has no reason to know me. And then as I left, I realized I'd say some dank in my pocket.
Oh my God.
Much like this, just in an open pocket. And I could smell myself as I was waiting for my coffee. And I was like, this is going to be an uneasy interaction with anyone I have if I smell like Louds in their place of business. So you know what? I can't put anything on her. That's on me.
She's like, damn, he smells. I don't know if I can keep him in the store.
He says he knows my daughter, but I think he should just get out.
Oh God.
Which I understand, and I wouldn't want my daughter hanging around those types of people as well. People who smell like me, but especially in public.
It's legal.
It's legal, man. But that was my thought, and then maybe I thought it's a cultural difference. Maybe she didn't hear me say, no, I know your daughter, but also she shouldn't care.
She doesn't really.
She doesn't.
She just cares about the appearance of the store.
Exactly. And you are prohibiting more business in this store because it smells like weed. Sir, can you please leave?
I mean, we're used to it. There's a lot of people. One time a guy was so high he bought every single pastry, so of course we're not going to be mad about it.
Right. No.
It works out, man.
And I was just buying like an iced latte or something. It was something insignificant.
It works out.
I wasn't going to bring more to it. But anyways, check out Palate on Fulton Street. That's really all I have. What do you have any more about where Palate is?
Well, Palate is on Fulton and Jefferson.
Fulton and
It's
Jefferson.
in between Foremost Barbershop and One Trick Pony / the Cottage Bar. It's pretty easy to find. There's Gita Pita there too.
Yeah,
So
I was just gonna
come
say.
by and visit. I work there all the time, helping my mom and pa out, and usually my mom's there. She's super nice.
She is super nice.
My mom is super nice.
That's not to say that she was not nice at all.
She
I
was
just
probably just
understand
concerned.
she has a business to run and doesn't want it smelling like weed. It needs to smell like coffee. I understand, and I apologize.
You're good, Hunter. You're good. That's just so funny. I'm gonna talk to her about that when I get home.
Oh, it was probably mostly my doing. I keep messing with this microphone. I'm just gonna keep playing with it. No, I got it.
Oh, he's got it.
Nailed it. So you started. I almost said professionally. You started professionally drawing in 4th grade, and when did you start playing?
Guitar
What was
or
your
music?
guitar your first instrument?
Well, my first instrument was violin. I
Usually,
started playing
I was
it
gonna
when
say
I was 11.
if you play the violin, that was your first instrument,
Yeah.
almost always.
Yeah. So I played violin all through school, and I was first chair and all that junk. And now I play violin for Further Closer, along with a couple other instruments.
Nice. And from my knowledge, it's violin,
Guitar,
banjo.
banjo.
Oh, wait, let me get to it. Guitar. No, that's all I had. Go on.
Well, I also play the omnichord, which is a weird niche instrument from the 80s.
Yes.
It's a little synth for
Yeah,
Further Closer.
I always think of what's the blowy one? A melodica.
A melodica.
But it's not the same at all. Because an omnichord, doesn't that look basically like a child's toy?
I think you're thinking about the automaton, which is a
No,
child's toy.
No, the automaton I know is a child's toy.
That is a child's toy.
But no, the omnichord, because it looks almost like
it's like an egg.
it's a large egg,
It's
but
like this
it
big.
looks like it's
Oh,
just
here
got
comes my
yes.
omnichord. Hey,
Yes.
This is my omnichord.
And it looks to me without the knobs on the left,
Yeah.
it just looks like a toy.
So this instrument was created in the 80s for people who are older and have arthritis and played piano.
Really?
Yeah, so it's an instrument that's very easy to play if you have arthritis.
And also probably memory issues because the notes are labeled.
They are labeled. They are labeled here. And it also has this swipey bit here where you can play notes according to what you're doing here, much similar to an auto harp. But I thought the history of it's super cool. They're kind of hard to find, but they're really easy to learn how to play. And they also have a drum machine and all kinds of other little effects you can do on there. They're really fun. I really recommend getting one if you play in a band and want to have an easy jam session.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So omnichord, banjo. Do you play guitar also in Further Closer?
Mm-hmm.
And violin. Vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start? Oh, yeah, wait, we didn't even finish the first question. Oh, yeah, violin at 11.
Mm-hmm.
From violin, where did that progress? First chair and all that?
Yeah, so I was always involved with violin. I picked up guitar when I was like 17 or 18. I was taught by my best friend soon how to finger pick. And so when I do my solo music, it's like a lot of very bluesy or freak folk finger picking. It's very inspired by, like, say, Nick Drake or Burt Ganch, who's a favorite of mine, and classical guitar.
I'm thinking of a song right now. Oh, come on. It's a Further Closer song, but I was thinking about putting it in at the end if you didn't have a song to put in at the end there.
Maybe is it I Am a Mountain? Or Time Flies?
It's banjo.
Wait, that's
So
Wild Wild Night.
Yes.
That's where Jake and I and Rick do a 3-piece song.
Yes.
It's very pretty.
It is very pretty. It's very light.
That's the one that makes people cry.
You know what? And I think it's a mixing of the voices. You and Jake. I mean, any song that I hear you, and I tune in for your voice mostly live because I like hearing a mixture of voices. Not to say that I don't like let me get it. I got it. I almost found it. Not to say that I don't like bands like the Fever Haze or Scare Seasons or, well, no, Scare Seasons also had a female vocalist, but not to say that I don't like Jake's voice on its own.
Sorry, Jake.
But I'd much rather it have an accompaniment. How do you say it?
Harmonies?
Yes. No, okay, but that's literally what I live for. That's what always gives me chills. Like in band, that's when I was like, oh no, I actually have an ear and like a passion for music and things like that, was when I would hear harmonies and get chills.
Yeah.
And it happens to me a lot in church, and I'd like to say it's the presence of God that brings me to tears, but it's probably in a more scientific note, the music and the feeling I get from thereof. But anyways, I like music and I like your voice.
Thank you. Yeah.
When did you start singing? Did you ever like sing in a formal setting before?
You're gonna
gigging?
laugh, but I started singing for my friend soon, right when she was teaching me guitar because she doesn't like to sing. We made a band for Mock Rock, which is a local talent show called Midnight Taco.
Is it similar to Garfunkel and Oates? Because that's what I'm picturing.
Midnight Taco? Yeah. Sure. We did Mock Rock, and that's when I started singing, and I started singing for her bands, and that worked really well. And then I met Jake shortly thereafter, and we started singing, and I slowly got better at guitar. I'm 26 now, so I've had a lot more time to get better
I've
at
seen
that.
you practicing and getting better at guitar, and I'd like to say, you're all right.
How dare you? I'm better than most guys.
Right. Yeah, and compared to me, you're an all-star. But what I'm saying is, you still got far to go. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I'm no Jake. Jake's a living, jukebox.
No, you're no Rick. You're no Rick.
But Ricky B is insane. He's in Further Closer,
Yeah.
and he's one of the best guitarists I've ever seen.
Shout out Eric Beck. Also appreciate your guitar skills. And you know what? Richard Nixon, you can have some too. So that's Nick. That's Nick Richardson. You're pretty good. I've always been sure he doesn't
Rick.
like me. Yeah. Any Jew. I think I've actually brought that up before on previous podcasts, the one with you. But it's not on the internet anymore. So sorry. Nick, I love you.
We love you, Nick.
I'm always striving for his approval. So Mock Rock, that was in high school, correct?
Yeah.
Where did you? How old are you?
I'm 26.
You're 26. All right.
So it's been a while now that I've been playing music.
Nice. So you're 26 and born in Venezuela, correct? When did you come here?
My parents and I came here when I was 1.
When you were 1.
So I am as American as anyone else.
Right.
But
I don't think that's what you have to defend right now.
No, it's just like culturally.
Right,
Like I am very, very much American,
Not
but I
a
also
lot of-
speak Spanish.
Not a lot of Venezuelan influence, I guess, from the area or
Well,
from your
yeah,
environment.
I do sing
besides your-
songs in Spanish sometimes for
Okay.
my solo stuff.
I was gonna say not further closer. I don't
No,
think they.
I'm not gonna do that to Jake.
Yeah.
And make him sing in Spanish.
Yeah, making him learn Spanish, I think, would be beneficial for him.
It'd be beneficial for anybody. It's the second most spoken language in the U.S. So.
Yeah, but we don't like to talk about that.
Everyone wants to speak burger, not burrito.
Exactly. But you got to think about what tastes better.
Burritos.
Burritos, almost 100%. Actually, I had a burrito last week. Hurt my tummy.
Oh no.
But completely irrelevant. So you came from Venezuela at 1. Did you come to Grand Rapids?
We went to Chicago for 1 month and then moved to Grand Rapids because
Okay.
my parents had some friends here.
Okay.
So, it's a
And
very
Chicago's
difficult
dangerous.
move. Not really. I mean, anywhere is if you're in the wrong parts.
Right. Grand
But-
Rapids, pretty dangerous if you're in the
so-
wrong parts.
Not really.
Well, not even in the wrong parts.
I don't know.
I-
Really. I
I
didn't
live
even
in the
have
right
issues.
part, I guess.
I didn't really have issues working on my mural at night. I had to project at night.
Oh, well, around then, all right, so, or the garage bar is not quite a biker bar, is it?
Kinda.
Yeah.
A little bit. The swarms of bikers will appear.
Not as bad as, like, the Iron Well, right?
No,
Are you familiar?
Iron Well is the spot for
Yeah,
them, but
see-
they do like to hit up the garage bar.
See, my house is right by the Iron Well. And so, like, late night coming home, my girlfriend will say, hey, maybe we should stop at the Iron Well for, like, a nightcap. I'm like, that's not the crowd that I want to wind down my night with.
Well, people at the garage bar,
I don't know if you've seen me. No, I'm saying the Iron Well. The garage bar is a place that I would like to do that because I've spent enough time there for comedy reasons, and so I know that they're at least able to take a joke.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are there, the Iron Well, the comedy show that lasted very shortly. You know why? People can't take a joke. So it's just not a place that I want to
I get that.
be.
I get that, and that's rough.
Yeah.
Those bikers at 2 a.m. Every Saturday, they
No.
swarm Grand Rapids.
Oh no, it's about every day, every evening. I see them at the Iron Well.
Okay.
Yeah, it is troubling. I'll
It's
I'll
just
admit
loud,
that.
man.
Coming, going, being there, everything about them is loud.
Okay.
I got a thing about bikers that I'm gonna have to write that down. No, I have a new vendetta. Look out, old people. You're fine. Bikers coming for you now. I have a hate for old people too. I think we can mostly agree on that, though.
Yeah.
Boomers suck.
Yeah.
So, mock rock. What high school did you go to?
I went to Byron Center High School.
Oh, okay.
So Barnyard Center, we have a giant statue of a chicken.
Bulldogs.
Yeah, bulldogs, like most places. That weird bulldog clip art, the worst bulldog clip art of all time.
Granville and Byron Center, they're
Why?
homes of it.
Why?
I have no clue. Yeah, that doesn't. Why is also Byron Center and Granville are so close? Why are they both?
They're next to
bulldogs?
each other. Why are you both bulldogs with the same clip art?
You know what? Take the same school. How about that? Just move in together.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots. So growing up in Byron Center, did you receive any hate for being an artist?
Kinda.
Yeah.
I had one girl who really disliked me because she wanted to be class artist. And
What does class artist consist of?
being the person that does the best art in the school.
But
I'm
did you-
sorry, Maddie.
Did you get like a?
She complained, literally.
I'm
She
sorry,
complained to the
Maddie.
teachers, literally. She complained to the teachers that most of my art was in the showcase and not her art, and was trying to get it taken out.
But isn't that an issue of quality of art?
It's not my fault, Maddie.
Get over.
It's not my fault.
Get over yourself.
I'm not the one. I just want to make good art. Like,
that's
you
what
did
I'm
good
here to
art
do.
too. Like, I don't know. That wasn't my issue. I just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even able to eat lunch with the other people because she harassed me so much.
Because of
So
your
I would literally eat
good
my
art.
lunch. Yeah, I would eat my lunch in the art room while working on my art some more, which guess what? Made me better at art because I put in my freaking 10,000 hours
Fuck you, Maddie.
straight up.
Actually, no. Thank you, Maddie.
You know, she made me a better artist and gave me a tougher shell because
you as a
people will
person.
criticize your art in front of you without knowing you're the artist. I see
Right.
it at Palate all the time while I'm working.
Oh,
People have no idea I'm the artist, and then I have this giant skull that I drew when I was 18. That's 5 by 4 feet, made out of animals. That's like the most popular piece in the store.
Right.
And sometimes people be like, "That was really scary and horrible. Why would you use a skull to do this?" And I'd be like, "I drew that.
That's me. Thank you.
I drew that." And then they're like, "Oh wow, it's amazing. It's amazing."
It's a real change of tone.
And I love that,
Yeah.
truly. And also, it gives me real critique from people who are not around art.
It gives
on a
you an
regular
honest
basis.
reaction, yes,
Yeah,
of the
so I do appreciate it
Right.
because, one thing that might be wonderful for one person would be horrible for another, which is just how art is.
Right. And people who go to art galleries or showcases like that are usually people who are appreciative and open-minded
Yeah.
of art. So it is nice to have a different perspective
Yeah.
in general of someone who doesn't have the appreciation
Exactly.
to
It's
give
why-
to just give a raw
Yeah. Reaction.
perspective, and reaction.
Yeah, I mean, the reason my parents opened Palate, which is a coffee shop as well, is because coffee will bring anyone into the store
Right.
from all walks of life. And that exposes them to art even more. And Grand Rapids is becoming more of an art city every day.
Right.
Even with Art Prize not being there for this year or last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's super important to bring art into people's lives every day.
Right. I mean, and that's what we're here to do, inspire people in any way we can, whether it be with our art, with our words. I think it's all I'd like to say anything that brings inspiration is art.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of inspirations, what I know was it John Hamm or John? What
It was
the book?
Jack Ham.
Jack Ham.
Thank you, Jack
It was the
Ham.
Jack Ham book.
I don't know why I was so like I begged my dad when we were at Barnes and Noble to buy me that book so I could learn how to draw animals.
Right.
And it really changed everything for me and inspired me to be a better artist because I wanted to learn how to draw animals and people as best as I could. I thought it was amazing the drawings that he was doing.
And I think it's amazing to accurately capture life.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's such an abstract thing, but it's looked at every day, so it's not seen as abstract, but to capture the uniqueness of a living creature it's awe-inspiring to me. And I've seen I want to say at least a dozen or so of your portraits of other people and self-portraits of yours that are, just because of the realism, are so just jaw-dropping, because I couldn't imagine how to sculpt the human body or how to draw the human body from Shut up. I've been getting scam calls all day.
Scammerous.
From Campbell, California. This is like the 9th one. Anyways, fuck your soup. No, they're calling about Apple support stuff. My Apple thing's been breached. But Apple would send me an email, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
No email. Fuck off. But
realistic art.
Yes, realistic art. Now, do you I have to feel there's a sense of satisfaction in your art.
Yeah.
From completing.
The most satisfying part is being done with it, because drawing is semi-torture.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. You spend over 100 hours on something, you want to be done with it.
Right.
But spending that extra last hour on it makes all the difference in the world. And usually I think people give up too quick on their drawings because it takes that long.
Right.
50 to 100 hours sometimes for one frickin' drawing. And most people don't have the patience, and that's something else you learn.
And especially if it's a passion piece too.
Yeah.
Not something commissioned or.
Yeah. And that stuff sells too, which is insane to me that people will spend that much money on my art. You know, it's not easy to give over $400 or $1,000 or $2,000 to someone for something you'll hang on your wall.
Right.
But I like that, you know, some of the meaning behind some of my artwork really impacts people enough for them to spend that kind of money on my work.
Right. And now would those kind of types of sales or anything like that come more from a gallery or?
Yeah.
Because that's when you actually have time to talk about the piece, right?
When people figure out that I'm the artist, they love talking to me about it, and that's another wonderful thing about working at Palate.
Right.
I get to talk about my art all day, and that makes it way more likely to sell because I'm also selling it, and they actually get my perspective on the piece.
Right.
I also usually have work up at Lions and Rabbits, so that's how I got connected with Hannah Berry for this mural.
Right. Now, in Lions and Rabbits, is a gallery? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in Creston neighborhoods,
Okay.
and they have so much wonderful artwork and do so much for the art community. Please stop by there.
Yes, awesome. And you know what? I usually do the descriptions, so I will try to leave a link in a description to where you can find all the beautiful places that are showcasing local art and just art at any rate in Grand Rapids, and giving them the ability to do so, giving artists an ability to do so. I'm always a fan of people in the same in the same line of work as I'm trying to do, and that's showcasing art and artists to people in unfamiliar places. Because it's almost like a missionary type goal that I have.
Hard.
But it's shining light. I'm stuttering so much. It's shining a light into darkness where people wouldn't have that light otherwise. And whether it's with beautiful visual art, beautiful music, awe-inspiring comedy. That's what I do, right?
That's right.
But
Hunter's funny.
But I think anything that we can do to inspire joy in this world is only positive, and the fact that these places are giving you and others the the platform to showcase that is really amazing. So I'd like to thank. I almost forgot it again. There's a
Lions
lion.
and rabbits.
Lions and I wanted to say tigers. Lions and rabbits. Palate, of course. Thank you, everyone that showcases art in any form. The comedy clubs that do, which is none right now, but the bars that allow us to paint on their buildings and do comedy inside of them, or in their parking lots at this point. I personally want to give a big thank you to all venues in general, and we hope that most of you come back soon.
Please. I miss you.
Exactly. What if so you've been playing live music for how long now then?
Ever since I joined Further Closer, it's been a couple years now.
Yeah.
I mean, I always did the occasional solo show. It's been pretty secretive. I was super anxious until I joined Further Closer. It kind of gave me the courage to branch out and play my solo music for people, because it's a lot more personal than my art for some reason. I'm singing from my diary.
Right.
So
because, I mean, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but if you hide behind that picture, you don't have to show them the 1,000 words, but that's what singing and writing is.
It's hard, and also you're way more on the spot when you're playing music for people.
Right.
You're just on a stage. I'm not usually on a stage when I'm painting or putting a drawing on the wall.
Right. That's performance art. I'm not all about that.
And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It took me a lot of time to get over my stage fright, and now I feel completely comfortable on stage, thanks to Further Closer.
That's awesome. Now, do you think that you'd ever reach the comfort with not only the showcase, but also maybe the speed necessary for a performance art piece? Like,
I've done it.
You have done live art.
Very. It's an occasional thing. It's not that common to have people do live art, but usually I'll bring, because I do realism, I usually bring something that I've half worked on, and then work on it live, for different, fundraising things.
That's awesome. And that's what I was thinking, because of the realism that it would be. That's why I brought in the speed part,
and also figure drawing. I used to teach very occasional figure drawing class, so you draw a live model. I've been paid by Ritual Gallery to draw live models at their events.
Wow.
With Plant Slut, and so I drew a bunch of Plant Slut models and was paid for that while I was there in person, which figure drawing really sets the foundation to be a wonderful artist. So I highly recommend, if you want to be doing realistic art, to take a figure drawing class.
That's awesome. And so can you break down, I guess, how so? How does it give you basically those
abilities?
Those
so
skills,
you can become a human printer from anywhere. You can draw anything standing there instead of working on an image where you have everything graphed out, and you can project or you can trace things. It really forces you to look at negative and positive space and get better anatomy and look at things as they actually are, rather than drawing what you think you see. It's a very strange concept. I feel like drawing is you are in a state between being extremely smart and extremely dumb, because half of it is instinct too. Like you got to just draw and not even look at your drawing. You got to look at your subject. So I think that really rapidly increases people's ability to do art better.
Right.
If they want realism.
They're not focusing as much on the barriers maybe in their head, but rather it's more reactionary. Yeah. I like that. And oh, shoot. There was one thing I had. Oh, like you had said about graphing pictures and things like that, because a lot of people may not know, but basically when an artist is recreating or drawing another drawing or doing a portrait from a photo, right? They would graph that picture. So basically put it up in blocks. Or block it,
and then put the photo in blocks, and then
quadrant.
You do each little square like a puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it a lot easier to focus on just that.
On each tiny square, rather than the picture as a whole.
Right, and you can't do that with live figures.
No, it forces you to look at it. You gotta look at it.
If you're just doing this while drawing, it gets a little difficult if you just cover your eye and try to focus on one part of them. But it's a new way to work your brain as well. That's really inspiring. Awesome. Not inspiring to me. I'm not going to do it. I can tell you that. I have no artistic ability. So
Just be funny, Hunter.
so maybe the word inspiring was not accurate for this moment, but it is amazing. I'll say that.
Thank you.
I've always wished that my hands or my brain or whatever could work in a way to make art, but right now all I have is my mouth, and now you know what, that could be taken the wrong way. All I have is my mouth and my words. And I'll take that for now, but I've always wanted to be able to put something down on paper visually that
well, I believe you can do it.
I don't.
Listen,
So
I don't even think it's people use the word talent a lot. You might have more of, just a leaning towards wanting to do art and the patience for it because you have an interest in it.
Yeah.
Right? But if you spend the time trying to learn how to draw realistically, you have to actively try to be creative. It's not easy being creative, right? It's not easy. That's the part that I struggle with.
A lot of it's putting yourself in or trying to manipulate the environment around you to be conducive to creativity.
Exactly. You surround yourself with art, and it's just like learning guitar. You spend years at it, and you're going to suck at it at first. Yep. I sucked at it at first.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to. And that's basically what I'm trying to get here. We painted pumpkins yesterday as a family, and they didn't look good. None of them.
They look good.
I'll take credit. Mine didn't look good. My son's didn't look good because he came from me. And you know what? Haley's looked all right, but I have to say not that great because she has poor judgment in choosing a partner. So art will not run in her life. I'm kidding. My girlfriend's an amazing artist. She is a great artist.
She's a great drummer.
Great drummer, too. But once she tries to put an image down, she can't. It's no hand-eye coordination. All she's got is rhythm. I'm kidding, folks.
We love you, Haley.
It's playing to no audience, but I'm sorry. No, my girlfriend's amazing or whatever. I have to say. She's right outside. She could probably hear this. Do you know where we're at time-wise, Jakey? Just under an hour. Liddy titty. So the mural is up for C.
Yeah, it's done.
It's up for seeing on the... I always auto-fix it.
On AutoFix It of Grand Rapids, look for the garage bar. It's way easier.
Yeah, everyone knows the garage bar because they have a sign that pokes out from the building. Yep. Garage bar and Sandy Point Beach.
Yeah, you're right.
Sandy Point Beach House. Yes, they were right across the street from each other. Check out Further Closer. Is that all of your published music on Further Closer?
For now. I want to record an album soon of my solo stuff.
Nice. And
Help me, Jake.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm sure you have a catalog of
I have a lot of songs.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually was playing a lot of shows before COVID hit. I played one in Iowa at the Village Theater.
What, alone?
Yeah, and I played one the day before at the Park Theater as a featured act. So,
wow.
And then
COVID
I remember
happened. That one. I remember
and
the
I
COVID.
couldn't play any more shows.
I remember your feature act because I think I might have done the open mic that night.
Oh yeah, you did.
I think I did. I had a dip set though.
Mm-hmm. I remember. That's okay. You got life.
Sorry, bud. No, I think I actually had to work at. I either had to work at Paris. I either had to bartend right after that, or I had to shoot out for another show. But you got any plans to come back live for anything?
Definitely. Yeah.
No, but solid plans.
Solid plans? All I want to do is record. I'm going to be jamming with the members of WISP soon to see if I can add more stuff to my music because they really liked a set that I did at Snake Shack.
Nice.
And they said that they wanted to add stuff.
Where's
to
Snake
it.
Shack?
That is a house show, a house venue. Only cool people know about it.
Sorry, my bad.
Sorry, Hunter.
Well, you know.
I bet Haley knows.
Yeah, she probably does. If they're famous, if they're familiar with punk shows, then I'm sure
Definitely.
She is. I actually got an offer to do a house show a couple weeks ago, or it was like 2 months ago, but I couldn't. I was on vacation. What I'm trying to say is I do well too. Okay, Michi?
You do well.
I do. I do well. I don't get commissioned by the city to do comedy, but I think
Maybe someday.
maybe someday.
The city does need more funny people, I swear.
Oh, I think less funny people. Yeah, the Laugh Fest is coming back, bro. I think we need less funny people in office and more funny people in the
venues,
streets.
yeah.
I think we need to open up these venues. No, I don't know about that. I don't know about a full opening, but I think October 9 is supposed to be. I don't know about before all this Supreme Court crap, but October 9 was supposed to be like venues and movie theaters coming back and stuff.
Where's this going?
I want it to. I want it to open. Because I want to be able to do stuff. But I think for a long time, a bunch of people are going to have the question, is it safe
I know.
to do so?
I know. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
But
I think
I'm going to hope that people will come together and wear their goddamn masks.
Exactly. I think it's going to take a long time for people to be comfortable and trustworthy of the public to care about other people's health.
That's right.
And I think that's what we need to do. If there's any way to be like, hey, just care about people, and then we can trust you to be an adult. Like, is that the message we have to put out there?
You know, my faith in humanity has plummeted during this COVID crisis. That's been like a inner crisis.
Nice.
Also.
Rightfully so.
For
Rightfully
everyone.
So. Well, Michi. What's Michi short for?
Michelle. Isn't that awful?
No.
It's the nickname my parents gave me.
But that is very unique because there's a lot of Michelles. Well, I don't know a lot. I know two. My Aunt Michelle and Michelle Obama. But neither of them go by Michi.
Well, weirdly enough, in Venezuela, it's a common nickname.
Michi is?
Yeah, for Michelle.
Really? Is Michelle a common name in Venezuela?
No, it's not.
Give me some common Venezuelan names, please.
Diego is one.
Duh.
Or Kenneth. Or...
Now, is the TH prominent in Spanish?
I don't know.
Because usually I would hear that pronounced like T. Like Tiago.
Kenneth.
Kenneth?
It's like that.
Okay.
I mean, Venezuela is known for having weird names.
Hmm.
Weird names.
Because obviously Diego, David.
Yeah,
right?
so like your common Hispanic names, and then just
Kenneth.
weird. You know, I know an Arnulfo, and then I have an Aunt Abel Said. Like,
That
there's
sounds Middle
weird
Eastern.
names. No, they're Venezuelan names.
No, now I'm more questioning your background. So I didn't ask any specific cities. This is where you could easily be lying to me. Where are you from in Venezuela?
Valencia. Valencia, Venezuela.
See, my great-great-grandmother's name is Valencia Katz, and she was Slovakian. So that could be a lie. What's the capital of Venezuela?
Caracas.
Jake, can you look that up for me? I can't. Oh, you can confirm. Okay. This guy's an atlas. All right. I'm not going to grill you about your whereabouts.
My
and whatnot
heritage.
In your heritage. I believe you. Michelle is Spanish or whatever.
My parents went to art school, yo. It's weird. I know. I was their love child.
And you know,
I was an art school love child, and they named me Michelle, which was weird.
All right, the capital of Venezuela is, in fact, Caracas. You spelled Venezuela way wrong. You guys ever been to Venezuela?
Don't go.
Don't go.
It's bad. Don't go if you're American.
Well, duh. Don't
go to Colombia. It's the same.
Cocaine. Is that what you mean? I don't know. Coffee.
Close enough.
Coffee?
Yeah, both.
What is the best thing about Venezuela that I could consume?
Venezuela has some of the most beautiful beaches and the biggest waterfall in the world.
I can't consume a beach or waterfall, but I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Honestly, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world in terms of if you visit it, in terms of their landscape.
My grandpa went to Venezuela for a bit.
Wow.
I think with the military or what. He wasn't having
doing
fun
good
there.
things.
Or not, I'm sure by your guys' standards, probably not. But any Venezuelan delicacies I could try.
An arepa. It's like a corn flour cake. No, it's the food. Look, it's an arepa. It's literally like this corn flour sandwich. Eat an arepa. It'll change your. It's a common street food.
Okay.
It's like they have them in Chicago or New York. It's a very common street food there.
Really?
That's what we're known for.
Arepas.
An arepa.
An arepa.
Yes, good stuff.
Do I have a decent accent when I say anything in Spanish?
No.
You're not.
I'm not going to back you up on that. I'm just going to be
Not at
honest with you,
all?
bro.
When I said arepa, you didn't. Nothing. No.
You did a good job with arepa, but I won't say on the other things.
I didn't say anything else. Tiago. I said Tiago.
You're failing it right now.
I'm saying Tiago. Thiago.
That was fine.
Tiago. Fine. Whatever.
Betray.
I think your name needs different spelling. I think there needs to
Michi?
be Farias. There needs to be an accent over the I.
Farias?
Farias.
I said Farias to help you.
I understand. Okay. You know what? Why did I did this to myself. All I'm saying is change the spelling of your name.
Furious.
There we go. If you just did that, it'd be a lot easier.
Michi Furious.
Michi Furious. Which you can follow her on Instagram.
Yeah, Michi Farias Art.
Michi, not Furious, Farias Art.
Mhm.
Farias Art. And do you have the tweets?
Yeah, it's not open to the public now.
There we go.
So
Beautiful.
I don't really post art there. You can just add me on Facebook if you want to follow a lot of my art stuff too.
Awesome.
Michi Farias.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And Michi, thank you so much. I'm going to eat this mic again. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for showcasing your amazing talent and your passion for showcasing women, prominent women of history. Yeah, no, that sounded.
I do showcase a lot
odd.
of nude women. I'll be honest.
And that's what I was thinking in my head, but then I was like, no, the mural. But if you want to find any of Michi's art, follow her on Instagram at Michi Farias Art and look at that freaking mural. Do you know if people are not in Grand Rapids, where they can find the pictures of your mural?
Yeah,
of the mural
actually
process?
have a link to it. Erica Townsley took all my photos, so if you look up her website, she has all of the Women's Way stuff that she took photographs of every week. She would come by to every single artist and take photos of our process.
Awesome. And were you
So-
all working at the same time, just
Yeah.
across town, or
Yeah,
basically?
across town. It was crazy.
That's awesome. An amazing process to follow, and we will post a link to Michi's process on that, and you can also scout the site, see the other artists, I'm sure, and that will be in the description of the episode, as well as a link to Further Closer. We'll throw that your Spotify or Bandcamp. I'll let you guys be the judge. So follow them on Spotify at Further Closer. Just search Further Closer on Spotify to hear Michi's amazing voice and violin and banjo and guitar and omnichord, and Jake do some stuff too. And and once again, thank you so much for coming in, Michi. Thank you guys for listening, watching, doing whatever you're doing. Come back next week. We'll have someone else. Actually, we'll have someone else. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Thank you for listening. Follow us on Facebook or whatever. Yeah, like us on Facebook. Where Is This Going podcast? Email us if you'd like at whereisthisgoingpod@gmail.com, and follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Search my name, Hunter Miles, and you'll find the page, and the playlist is there. We try to do this every week. We'll see how it goes. Thank you guys so much once again. Bye-bye.
Bye.